to the room of people who have rooms of people that they love one day docked away. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean our brains will change from hand grenades. You love another psychopath sitting next to you. You love another murderer sitting next to you. You think I'd get it sitting next to you. But after all I said, please don't forget. All my friends are here taking slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse.
What is happening, everybody? It's been way too long. Welcome back to the channel. I am joined by my good friends here on YouTube, Ninjoy243, the Osnator,
Yo,
and William himself, Deshaun Wiggins.
Cup.
How the hell y'all doing today, guys? Or night?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Doing great. Just got done eating 2 pizza, so of course I'm gonna be great.
Sweet, sweet.
I got a Lego Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh shit!
Seriously, you got it, Austin?
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
A buddy of mine here that I went to school with, I think he also got that for Christmas too. But they aren't the only things I got for Christmas. But I got Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and Christopher Robin. So it was a good bounty this year. But we're not here to talk about that today. So we are back for our, I guess, what has become an annual discussion for our favorite and not so favorite releases of the year. Y'all got your lists ready?
I have my list.
We are also counting TV shows, correct?
Yep, anything can be included. Like if it's a movie, hell, it could even be fan films, a whole seasons of television. And I guess as far as like TV goes, even if the season isn't complete, but you want to put on your list, that kind of stuff, then I guess it can count too.
Okay.
But I guess now when I say this doesn't pertain to y'all because I know y'all are cool. We are going to have very differing opinions. I know that because I will say this right now. Some of my picks for worst of the year are probably going to take a lot of people off, or who knows? Maybe you'll all agree. But the point is, we all got differing opinions, and that's all right.
All right.
With that being said, the way it'll work is we'll each go around down the panel and say our list. Start off with our worst of the year, so that we can reward ourselves with ending it with talking about what we actually liked during this whole chaotic year. The way it'll go is that because Ninja doesn't know how long he'll be able to be here, so we agreed that he can go first real quick, then I'll go, and then Austin, and then Deshaun. Does that sound cool?
That be okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So take it away, Ninjoid.
Okay.
Starting off with your picks for worst of 2021.
Okay, so can I start with... Well, no, I'm actually going to build up to it. So I'll do... All right, so my 12th least favorite thing of 2021 is Army of Thieves. It was a okay/mediocre film, which Austinator over here forced me to watch, which at first I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be garbage and all of that. But it turned out okay, but it's still a very weak thing that came out this year. So that's number 12. Number 11 is Halloween Kills. I thought it was also a little bit weak. I have just seen it like legit just a few days ago. But here's the thing. It's okay. It's mediocre. It's just one of my least favorite things that came out of this year. Okay.
No, I'm playing. I'm fucking with you.
Okay. Next is the Paw Patrol movie. Okay.
You said the Paw Patrol movie?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a brony. We don't judge.
No. My brother forced me to watch the Paw Patrol movie, so it was garbage because one, it's Paw Patrol, and number two, I'm not a little kid anymore.
Damn. I saw you how to get torture.
Number 9, Mortal Kombat.
Oh wow.
A piece of shit movie that
Dang.
sucks. Alright?
I forgot Mortal Kombat came out this year.
It disrespects the source material. It was dog shit.
Damn.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier made me
Mortal
piss
Kombat,
so
Mortal Kombat. I'll say I was okay with. The only thing that really got to me was that they killed Goro, but that was about it.
Okay. Well, number 8 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh gosh.
It made me piss myself.
It wasn't that bad.
It made me piss myself.
I'm not sorry.
My
trying to
big
make
thing
comedy.
was. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. Your internet was a little bit lacking at mine. But anyway, number 7, the Tom and Jerry movie. It was dog shit. It was really shitty. I mean, I know because it came out of my ass. Number 6, Clifford the Big Red Dog, which I know Austin. That movie Austin despises.
The fact they're making a live action.
The dog, the CGI on the dog looked like shit. And I thought the CGI for the Beast and the Beauty and the Beast remake was bad.
I have not seen the movie, but when I saw the Thunder at Clifford Big Red Dog, I was like, "Yep, I ain't watching that. I ain't gonna."
Next is the Flash season 8 so far.
Yes.
I hate season 8 so far. To me, it's even more shitty than season 7.
This is like the last season, right?
I think so.
Or it's like
No, season's not that bad. Season 7 is shit.
That's what I've heard. Is that I heard that like anything after season 4 is pretty much like who gives a fuck.
No, anything after season 2, who gives a fuck? Anyway, number 4, Venom Let There Be Garbage.
I knew you were going there.
I disagree with that, but okay.
Venom Let There Be Garbage disrespected me as a comic book fan and as a fan of Carnage, and it really disowned me. So there we go. You know.
I'll say this real quick about Venom, because I've been in kind of a Marvel fatigue pretty much the last half of the year. So actually seeing something Marvel again with Venom, it was all right. I mean, I liked it. I liked it more than the first film. It was a shorter movie, but I thought they were able to keep the momentum going. I like the action and the characters, so it was all right.
I hated it.
Sorry.
It was almost my least favorite movie of the year. But then we got Army of the Dead, which is my number 3. That movie was horse shit. I don't give a fuck whoever defends that movie. To me, it is dog shit. Oh wait, no, it's not dog shit. It's donkey shit. All right.
Yeah, you don't want Jeremy Johns coming into studio with dog shit.
Then we have number 2 as Eternals.
Yes.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Eternals sucks. I think it's like it really became super bad, and I despise that movie now, and I want it to suffer.
And it ain't doing very well in the box office, so you're getting your wish.
Okay, who can guess what my number 1 is?
I don't even know.
Venom Let There Be Carnage.
No, I already said that.
Oh, Spider-Man: Rise of the Fan Fiction.
No.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Nope. I'm gonna say it. Riverdale.
All engines go.
Riverdale. Riverdale. The 5-part event of Riverdale. That's Riverdale.
I heard
No, that shit is fire. I don't know what you're talking about.
that.
I know, right? Seeing Archie die is god tier.
And then fucking getting scared of, spiders or whatever the fucking getting woken up by someone with a bat.
Having a threesome with 2 Reggies.
And a car.
And also,
Wait, so it's Riverdale for you? Your worst of the year?
it's Rivervale. Yeah, Rivervale's my least favorite.
Yep, did not see that one coming. Yeah, I heard about that. Like, to freaking kill Archie. Like, then what's the point of the show, right?
Yeah. Well, Archie then gets brought back, though. And he's somehow the god of this universe of Riverdale.
What is this, some like supernatural shit? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it airs on the CW, so I guess that's no surprise. But
No, it is supernatural shit. Apparently, these 5 episodes take place in an alternate timeline.
alternate timeline?
Yeah. So now there's a multiverse. There's a multiverse of Riverdale.
All right, Marvel, sue somebody.
Please.
So that's your worst of the year, right?
That is correct.
Alrighty. This is already season 6, right?
Yeah, that's season 6.
Sweet. Well, now you get to reward yourself with your favorite releases of 2021.
Alrighty, so number 19 is WandaVision. Okay, WandaVision wasn't that bad. It was okay.
Yeah.
Number 18, and this is actually going to be a surprise for some people, Riverdale Season 5. I just hated the ending. Everything else, though, was okay.
Man, I thought you were hating on season 5 most of the year.
No, I actually like Season 5 somewhat. Number 17, Star Wars Visions. It was good.
I have not seen it yet.
Fantastic, though. Number 16, What If. It was okay. Number 15, Squid Game. I really like Squid Game. Number 14.
I hear it's just total drama about live action.
It is, basically, but it's fun. Number 14 is Luca. Best, like, animated-ish family movie this year, I think. Out of all of them. I really enjoyed Luca. Number 13, Bad Batch. It was okay and good.
Did you just see Bad Batch?
Yeah. Number 12 is Black Widow. Number 11. Number 11 is The Suicide Squad. Number 10.
What a joke.
Number 10 is Dune. Number 9 is Hawkeye. Number 8 is the
Still need
first
to watch
episode.
Hawkeye, actually.
Yeah. Number 8 is the first episode of Book of Boba Fett. Number 7, Shang-Chi.
You were praising the shit out of that, which
I know. Anyway. And then number 7, now this is where it kind of is like, you really didn't enjoy it? Okay, number 6 is the Nindroid cut to The Force Awakens.
Okay, hey,
praising yourself there.
Judge, his old fan.
It was better than the actual movie. I will give him that. But that's kind of judging your own version of the movie. That's like Loki falling in love with himself. Oh wait, that was kind of a thing. I'm kidding though. Yeah, you really should be proud of your cuts of these movies. They're great.
Oh fuck, I forgot Loki on my worst list. Yeah, Loki would be like right next to Venom, Let There Be Carnage, so it's dog shit, alright? But anyway, so
Yeah.
then number 5 would be Ghostbusters Afterlife. Fantastic movie. Oh yes, just the final 15 minutes was beautiful. Alright.
Hey, flat top.
Number 4, Cobra Kai Season 3. I love Cobra Kai Season 3. I thought it was beautiful. Which came out January 1st of this year. So that's nice. Number 3, Zack Snyder's Justice League, if we have to count it.
Oh my gosh.
Number 2, the Nindroid Guide to The Last Jedi.
Okay, that's better.
I'm
That
sorry,
is
I have to put it there because it took a long time to make, and I'm proud that it came out this year. Number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yay!
The fact that Invincible wasn't on your list was a crime.
Oh wait, I forgot Invincible. Okay, Invincible is my 3rd.
All right, that's pretty good.
There we go. My
Alrighty,
third
those are. All right, we're gonna be getting rid of that troll in the chat. But so those are Ninjoid's picks for the best and worst of the year. Very well done. A few that I haven't even heard of. Quite a few that I haven't even been able to see yet, but very interesting list. Anything else you got to say before I get to mine?
Hashtag release the Nindroid cards, motherfuckers.
Episode 9, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
You fix these two. Yep. And
Yeah.
especially for JJ.
Exactly.
Rest in peace, man. We're gonna miss you. Well, we do miss you, yeah. I'm kind of lightheaded today. But yep, now we will get into. Oh, I was about to put up my most anticipated of the year list, but all right, these are my picks for. We'll start off with the worst of 2021, and then I will get into my best. Number 9, M. Night Shyamalan's Old. This was kind of like just like a placeholder on the list because, yeah, I didn't like it very much. But at the same time, it's like, because on the one hand, I do think it's his worst film to date. But at the same time, it didn't really aggravate me particularly much, other than that it was just another typical bad Shyamalan movie. But I think what made me put it on this list is because, at least for my money, Glass was an amazing picture. I thought it was a really satisfying way to close out his little trilogy that he'd been going on for nearly 20 years. That whole Unbreakable story. So it kind of got me up in the hype again for like maybe he's back. Like maybe Shyamalan's actually got his groove back, but it just sadly not. The acting felt very off in the movie. It was kind of like X-Men Dark Phoenix, where they kind of talk like this. They pause after every other sentence they say, and whenever they get emotional, it'll be kind of like that, but then it'll just be like, you get the idea. And the ending, about fried my brain. So yeah, that's number 9. Number 8, I think we all agreed on this. Clifford the Big Red Dog. And my initial little post that I did for Facebook, I said the movie was fine. It was mediocre. It's a harmless time at the movies. And I'd still stand by that. It is mediocre, but let's be real. But through all that, it is still very unfaithful to the books. And I'm not gonna act like I'm a Clifford fan or a nut. It's just I remember reading the books when I was a kid, and so yeah, the books, this definitely was not. The acting was good, but yeah, not much to say. A very mediocre and unfaithful. It was very unfaithful to the books. But yeah, that's number 8. Now this one I really want to get a conversation going. Number 7 is F9.
Oh fuck, I forgot about it.
F9. Oh, fat. Oh, I disagree with that, but I would pay your
No,
dues.
I'll say that. I'll say this about F9. Number 8, I still think is the worst movie. I still think it's the worst of the series because the whole plot line of Dom being forced to turn against his family and his friends and all that, especially after this, the fact that was coming off of 7, where he had his emotional goodbye with Brian and all that. I just found it to be it was much more distasteful than this film was. So with this film coming in, again, 8 I still think is worse, and this was just, there's nothing particularly offensive about it. I thought there was, but it was just another bad, unnecessary sequel. It just didn't need to exist. And again, probably know which guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So other than that, it was just another bad, unnecessary sequel. Doesn't really do anything offensive.
Awkward silence.
That's what I'm getting. Do you think his internet's acting up?
It might be.
I put money that's his internet.
Hmm.
Oh, it's his internet. I knew it.
What's gonna happen?
What are we gonna now do? We're gonna see if he comes back. And if he doesn't come back, though, within like the next few minutes, then we're gonna let Austin go. All right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
He's
Oh, he back.
I'm back. My apologies.
okay.
But yeah. Oh, fuck, that's embarrassing. But yeah, now I can say number 6 is Black Widow. My biggest issue with the film was that because normally with the humor, the MCU balances its humor pretty well. At least I feel it does. But in the case of Black Widow, I thought that it placed its particularly bad humor above all else, and that any chance for any emotional moments or any kind of depth took a back seat or was darn near non-existent. I felt nothing watching this movie. So for this to be the send off basically to Black Widow and her whole arc, I don't see this a fair trade. Like, you kill her off, and then it's like, you not only do you finally then choose to do a movie with her, but this story wise is what you give us. Yeah, not a fan, Disney. Yeah, do better next time. And unfortunately, with their most recent Marvel film, or at least one of their recent Marvel films this year, they didn't do any better. Haha, y'all probably know which one I'm talking about. Number 5, Tom and Jerry. Nothing much I can really say about this one. I wanted a Tom and Jerry movie, not a bland human characters movie, which that's pretty much what they gave us. I felt like I was cheated out of any real Tom and Jerry antics in this. What do y'all think?
Mm. I
It was
like
also
Tom and
just dog shit.
Huh?
You know, I said it was also just dog shit. Period. I'm sorry that I interrupted you.
Oh no, you're okay. Yeah, that was my thing. Is that I wanted a Tom and Jerry movie and not a bland human characters movie. And I hate to say that because this is like Chloe Grace Moretz, I believe was in, who does the funny
Yeah.
little exposition bits in the Ant-Man movie. Is in there. It shouldn't be your movie. I wanted Tom and Jerry movie out of getting that. My number 4 is Cruella.
Oh,
Not as a Disney live action adaptation, it's not worse than Lion King. Like that still takes the cake for like worst of the live action little movies they've been doing. And I'll say this, as far as taking you're doing the whole thing that Maleficent did and taking your villains, making them sympathetic or whatever. This isn't worse than any of the Maleficent movies. But it's just another bad movie that uses this premise. Like, it's like I'll say this same thing about Cruella that I would still argue about the Maleficent movies. Great casting, like with Maleficent, to cast Angelina Jolie as that character. If you put her in like an actual Sleeping Beauty remake, it'd still be perfect casting. Like that'd be a great movie. So same thing here with Emma Stone as Cruella. You put her in a 101 Dalmatians remake. There you go. You got me sold. But it's just, these aren't the type of movies we want to see. I don't think there's anyone who's ever asked about wanting to see this premise, making the villains sympathetic. They're villains for a reason. So just keep it that way. Hopefully this is the last time they do that with these characters, which makes me thankful that we're getting an actual Little Mermaid remake and not an Ursula make you cry for me movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But yep, that's number 4. Oh, we got Kavari in here. What up, Kavari? Glad you can make it. Number 3. And I'll say this because I really hated Cruella, but these next 3 are like the ones that like really particularly like angered me. Like again, I obviously didn't like any of the other picture on the list, so I obviously hated them enough to put them on here. But these top 3 are the ones that are like, ooh, these are like really the worst of the year to me. Number 3, Matrix Resurrections.
damn.
The most convoluted mindfuck of a movie I have seen since Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Not worse than Tenet, I'll grant it that, but it still had the same effect on me. I remember seeing, because I'll say this, I'll put this in context for y'all. I remember seeing Tenet in theaters, and about 5 minutes in, something was starting to happen to me. I was starting to feel all nauseous and sweaty, and I was starting to feel sick, like physically ill. And it made that the worst theater experience I've ever had in my life. Like, I still to this day have not rewatched Tenet. So Matrix Resurrections, I didn't see Matrix in the theater, but still watching it at home, it still had that physically nauseating effect on me, like Tenet did. And that's pretty much the only thing that got it on this list. Oh, we're gonna. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that got it on this list for me, and especially this high was that because I'll say this, otherwise I probably wouldn't have bothered with it because if you're in the camp that was already disappointed by the other Matrix sequels, then this will probably feel more of the same to you. It's just another bad and even unnecessary sequel. Maybe more so unnecessary than 2 and 3 were. Because that is all the meta shit didn't work for me. Like, oh, I'm gonna make a video game and Warner Brothers and shit. Like, huh? So yeah, the acting was great. It's good to see some of these characters again, even though it leaves you thinking, how the fuck are some of them still alive, considering the ending of the third movie. But I digress. It was good to see Keanu Reeves again. It was good to see what's her name, Trinity from she was in the other ones. But other than that, it's another bad, unnecessary sequel. But the fact that I was expecting to be disappointed by it, I would have otherwise just left it off of this list then because I wasn't expecting to like it. But the fact that it was that extra thing, like I'm saying, that it had that ill effect on me, like Tenet did. Yeah, you're going on my list for that alone, bitch. So yeah, Matrix Resurrections, number 3. Oh, I'm glad someone did. Like I actually am. It showed promise, like, but yeah, it just didn't deliver. All right, I think this will get all of us talking. This is it's my number 2. It's only my number 2, but this is my pick for worst movie I've seen all year. Sorry, Marvel. Eternals.
Nah. Same with me. It is the worst movie this whole year.
Matrix may have been the worst experience I've had between the two because, again, it made me feel physically ill and all that, like quite literally. But the fact that this is Marvel and to have which normally has such an amazing track record with great movies and all that, it makes it worse. It makes it all that more disappointing. Because again, with Matrix, chances are you're probably expecting to not like it that much. But with the Eternals, you get where I'm going with this?
Exactly. They have no.
Where do
They have no excuse for this film. Like seriously, this is all their fault because they legit had like 7 writers in this whole film.
Adaptation going on.
Clusterfuck. They should not make a sequel. They should not.
Oh yeah, I don't ever want to see these characters again. Do y'all agree?
Exactly. No, I fully agree with that. I don't give a fuck. Maybe the characters that appeared in the post-credit sequence, because that's the stepbrother to Thanos, which I do like him in the comics. So I would say, yeah, he appears, but none of these like characters in the whole film, besides maybe you remember Kingo.
Yeah.
I liked Kingo. He was the only.
I think so, yeah. And that's another problem with this film is that. And that's another problem with this film is that if you have to ask, do you remember this character's name? That's an issue. The characters are so freaking forgettable. Or at least you forget their names.
Kingo, I remember his name because he's the actor guy who makes
the only character I really liked. Yeah, I liked him, and the only other character, like I don't remember his name either, but the only other character that I really liked was the black guy. What's his name? He had the family and all that. Like he was the only other character where it wasn't like great, but it's just like I remembered him enough. I liked him. But shit, what was his name?
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, that's exactly the issue. Is that you don't remember these names.
I only remember Kingo.
But the bigger issue is
Sprite. I remember Sprite just because I love Sprite. It's that simple. I don't love the character,
you cast
but I love
Angelina Jolie in this movie, and she's not the highlight. That is some bullshit that they could even do that.
Yeah,
But I'll
see,
say this, like, this is the thing I really want to get a conversation going on. Yeah. And I said, I'll say
yeah,
this, like, the
that's
big
true.
issue I felt with the movie, and this is something I really want to get a conversation going on, is that Infinity War, aside from the fact that it had great characters, an amazing story, and that Thanos proved to be an amazing villain, why I might be going with this? Because with Infinity War, it's kind of the same structure. It's got so many main characters going in that you got to balance the screen time for. But here's the thing with Infinity War. It works so well because, one, we've already had movie after movie to really get to know and care about these characters. So you don't need to do any kind of exposition and show this is where they are now. This is what they've been doing. You don't have to worry about all that because we already know who they are.
Yes, but Zach, here's the thing.
Eternal is the way it's structured is that it's long and then we already know them, but we don't. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes. And Kavari, you are 100% right.
There we go. Doritos.
Yeah, we
Actually,
all
may want
care
some
for
Doritos
the
nachos.
Dorito shit.
Yep.
We all care for that
Like,
Dorito shit.
And hell, when freaking alien ship is the thing you remember. Marvel, don't make a fucking sequel. It's like these characters are not interesting enough. And hell, even with a entire 3-hour movie trying to do all the exposition, show who they are, and we still don't know who the fuck they are. Just abandon this storyline. I get that probably mean that in your grand scheme of things, you'd have to rewrite a lot of other things that they may end up being involved in, but just I don't want to see any more of these characters. They're too bland, they're too boring. I hardly know anything about them. It's not like Guardians of the Galaxy where it was much easier to digest and it was a much smaller movie, and so thus it was easier to really let you get to know those characters. But with Eternals, there was way too much going on, so thus you weren't really able to get to know the characters on a personal level. It was just all about action and spectacle and exposition, and not the good kind. So again, Marvel, do better next time. Well, thankfully, they did do better with what, spoiler alert, is on my best of the year list. Wink, wink. Now, I'm on a bit of a rant with this one. So, and as far as the thing that I'm going to be talking about, bear with me on this. This is a bit of my inner childhood nostalgia talking with this one. None of y'all have seen this because I get it. None of y'all are into this franchise. Y'all could care less about it. This is more just a personal thing for me, but I gotta say it. I personally watched every single episode that's come out so far this year just so I could have the credibility to make an argument as to why I feel this is as bad as it is. My number one, All Engines Go. I am not calling it Thomas and Friends All Engines Go because this is not Thomas. All Engines Go is a spit in the face to the works of Reverend W. Awdry and Britt Allcroft. It in no way resembles the original show that it claims to be based off of. It defies all and any little things of logic and whatnot. Ugh. Like, what a fucking betrayal. I'll try not to go too long on this, but it's just thing. Thomas, it was my childhood. And there's a part of me that still really cares about this franchise. Enough to where I want to continue to see it done right, done faithfully. This was not. And I'm gonna lay it on for y'all. How do you go from starting off with this
Every summer, the island of Sodor is very busy. Holidaymakers love to sightsee, and when the weather is fine, there is no better place to visit.
So yeah, how do you go from starting with that to eventually getting down to this?
Here comes Thomas. I'm
What?
I don't know.
That's just all.
And here's the thing. What makes it worse is that hell, Blue's Clues fans got it better. Because friggin' Steve came back to give his all fans a little message or whatever, and they got the little heartfelt thing.
I guess I just wanted to say that after all these years, I never forgot you. Ever. And I'm super glad we're still friends. Thanks for listening.
What do we Thomas fans get? Shit.
I need you to know me. So, back to it.
Yeah, I think I've made my point. Again, I know I'm the only one who even gives a shit. But yeah, All Engines Go is an insult to the original books and show that this beloved character is based off of. It's a spit in the face to anybody who loved this little blue tank engine as a kid. And Mattel, if you're watching, I'm now speaking directly to you. I hope that this show fails, it gets canceled, so that it can go down as an absolute embarrassment for everyone involved. This isn't some second-rate entertainment like freaking Dora the Explorer or Caillou or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or Peppa Pig. This is Thomas the fucking Tank Engine. It deserves your time, love,
Wait, Zach, did you bring up Peppa
care,
Pig?
effort, and respect. I hate Peppa Pig. But that's not the point. Either do better or sell it to a company that'll actually fucking give a shit. I know I probably just lost the credibility of not almost all my viewers or whatever, but it's like, dude, you're ranting on a Thomas cartoon? Trust me. I get it. How silly it sounds, but that's just me. So yeah, All Engines Go, worst that I've seen all year. If the freaking Reverend himself were to come back to life and he saw what his creation were being turned into, he'd be so distraught that he'd just want to up and fucking die all over again. But enough of that. Let's get into more positive shit now. I can now reward myself with the best things I have seen all year. Starting with number 12, Luca from Disney and Pixar. I've been giving Disney a lot of shit over the years for not being bold or really doing anything new. And while this isn't entirely anything new, the resolution it comes to towards the end of the film more than makes up for my argument. I found it really ballsy the way the film chose to end and where it took its characters. But even then, I found this to be a very sweet, cute movie. I was invested in the characters. I loved the animation. It's not better than Toy Story 4's animation, but I digress. It was I wouldn't even say it's one of the best Disney movies I've seen in a long time, but for what Disney put out this year, it was one of my favorite things I've seen all year from them. So, bravo. Number 11, Sing 2, which was one of my top 3 most anticipated movies for this year, and it didn't disappoint. And I get it as a company, Illumination Studios, a lot of people don't like them very much. But at least for my money, I really adored the first film. I thought it was a huge surprise. It was probably the most surprising thing I saw that year. I liked the characters. I liked the story. The songs were great. So I was expecting a lot out of this sequel, and I wasn't disappointed. They didn't just make it a direct rehash of the first film story. Like, it was actually something new. Like they were actually moving the narrative forward. So bravo. Great film. I liked enough that hopefully we'll get a third film. Like, I'd rather see more from this out of Illumination than anything more from Despicable Me. Like, I'm really starting to get tired on that. So, Illumination, more of this, less Despicable Me. I don't think anyone cares about that anymore. Number 10. I actually quite pretty much saw this last minute. Back me up here, Austin. The Tomorrow War.
That was fire.
I loved this movie. I think I might have liked Chris Pratt in this more than some of his recent MCU outings. But overall, I enjoy him most out of the Jurassic World movies. But this is the best thing he's done all year, at least from what I've seen. But now I guess he's gonna be stuck doing friggin' Mario for the next few years. God, do I feel sorry for him. But this was probably one of the best sci-fi movies I have seen in a long ass friggin' time. Nothing as far as sci-fi is ever going to beat War of the Worlds. Like that is always going to be the best sci-fi thing I've ever seen. But I really liked the ideas and the concepts going on here. At first, it looks like it's just going to be a usual generic time travel story of sorts. But not to give anything away, it kind of brings something new and innovative to the table. And they say they got a sequel in the works for this. The fact that this film was so good, I'll cross my fingers that there's actually a reason why they are, but I would have just left it here. What do y'all think?
Should be a one and Should be a one and done.
Huh? Yep. Yeah, like there wasn't anything left dangling that I felt like needed to be continued. But other than that, this was a great sci-fi movie. Some of the best Chris Pratt I have seen in a long time. And yeah, not much else I can say without really going into spoilers. And this is one of those movies that I really don't want to spoil. So, Tomorrow War, number 10. Number 9. One of my... Yep, it is actually my favorite animated movie of the year. The Mitchells vs. the Machines. A movie that practically came out of nowhere onto Netflix with, at least from what I've seen, little to no marketing. But it hit. When it came, it hit, and it hit hard by the looks of it. What I really loved about this movie was that it was not just the fact that it was a sweet, heartwarming, wholesome story about family, but the characters were what really did it for me. This is one of those types of movies that on the surface, it looks like it's just going to be another road trip movie in that the character stereotypes are going to be obvious. The overbearing, overloving dad and the annoying brother, but it doesn't go into those cliches at all. Or hell, even about the cliches it does go to, it actually takes those cliches and subverts them. It's the thing where you think it's going to go one way, but it pretty much just goes the other one. So, I almost shed a tear during this movie, especially during the last 20 to 30 minutes. Is like some of the best action I've seen all year. Take notes, Marvel, on how to improve your action for this year. But not much else I can say. Mitchells vs. the Machines. It was a great movie, and I feel like it's very underrated. What do y'all think?
I haven't seen it.
Never saw it.
It's on Netflix, or at least I believe it still is. Go see it. It is great. It's done by I think it's done by the same people who did Spider-Verse, the animated one. So it's worth a look just for those names alone. Number 8. What could have easily been my favorite horror movie all year, but there's just two other things on my list. It surpassed it. Wrong Turn: The Foundation. I'll say this, as a horror franchise, Wrong Turn has never been one of my favorite horror franchises. I've highly enjoyed it with all the mutant cannibal directions it was going. I enjoyed the movies for what they were. And aside from the second film, which I do argue is one of my favorite horror films, that's the best of the series. The franchise overall is not one of my favorite franchises, but it's a franchise I've always been invested enough in, and I'd always been waiting for another movie. And so I'll admit, when I heard that this was going the remake route, I just thought it was one of those kinds of things, like, oh, they've run out of ideas. Like, this is just a desperate last-ditch attempt to make a buck. But it really surprised me. Not just with how it changes up the entire formula of the franchise. Like, it does something completely different. Like, instead of mutant cannibals, it's actually something much more real. Like, my own mother even saw this film. She's not a big horror fan, and she thought this movie was actually really smart with its themes and its commentary that it had going for it. And the ending credits, fuck yeah. The little scene they have going on there, yeah, go see it. It's not the best of the series. That still goes to Wrong Turn 2. But as far as trying to keep this smaller horror franchise alive, I thought it did a surprisingly good job at doing so. Loved it. It was one of my favorite horror movies all year. All right, the only TV show that made my list. My number 7 pick is Survivor Season 41. For this season, when it wasn't getting bogged down in a lot of unnecessary political race talk and whatnot, I actually felt like I was still getting a lot of the same strategical, exciting gameplay that Survivor usually delivers. And I was just glad to have it back in my life after nearly a year off of the screen. I loved the changes that they did to the gameplay. And I'll admit, I wasn't really a fan that it was a much shorter season, like only 26 days as opposed to the usual 39. But I'll admit, the fact that that gave it a much faster pace, I found it quite thrilling at times. Not that I want it to stay like this. Like, I do hope that the next season gets things more back to normal, but as like a really big change up to how Survivor normally goes, I loved a lot of what they did this season. So, not one of my favorite seasons. I wouldn't say it would be in my top 10 of the series, but for another round of exciting Survivor gameplay and strategy, I loved it like I usually love this show. So, it was so good to finally have it back. Number 6, Candyman. The sequel, Candyman. It retcons 2 and 3 and goes back to the original, like how Halloween has been doing. It's actually quite the opposite of what I said about Survivor, where I thought a lot of the race and political talks were unnecessary. For the type of atmosphere and character arcs going on in Candyman, that was actually some of the more interesting stuff in the movie to me, when it was kind of talking about those kind of social race issues. I loved the idea of how instead of just one Candyman like it was in the original, it's kind of a generational thing, like a lot of like different generations each had their own different interpretation of the Candyman lore. And I'll say this, yes, Tony Todd was in this movie. That's all I'm gonna say. Go see this movie if you haven't. It's a bit short. It's only 90 minutes, so that left for admittedly a very rushed climax, but other than that, I thought this was a very worthy sequel. Hell, the only worthy sequel to the original film. And if you weren't convinced enough yet, I'll say this, Jordan Peele, you can do no wrong. Or at least I feel like you haven't yet. So, bravo for this movie. Tell everyone. All right. This will be another big conversation starter. Really got to eat my words with this movie because I've been bad mouthing it pretty much all year. My number 5, Spider-Man No Way Home. To paint the picture for y'all who don't know, I was very skeptical about this movie. I thought that the whole gimmick of bringing back the other villains was just a desperate move that was going to show that they had run out of ideas. That just shows that, well, we don't have enough confidence in the actor we have playing Spider-Man now, so let's just throw a bunch of nostalgia at them. Let's Rise of Skywalker this shit. So I thought that's what we were going to get, particularly with Alfred Molina coming back. I just thought they were going to ruin his ending at the end of Raimi's Spider-Man 2. This is a lot of the things on first glance were just painting red flags for me. Was not looking forward to seeing this. So again, I have to eat my words because this movie was fucking awesome. Do y'all concur?
Agreed.
So good. Yep. I thought the movie was bold. It was dark. Sacrifices are actually made story-wise and character-wise. It's not the usual Disney thing where they say, oh, we're going to do this thing. It's going to change everything forever, only for them to backtrack on it at the 0 hour because it's Disney and we have no balls. No, the things that they're setting up for at the end, they actually go through with it. And again, sacrifices are made, consequences actually stick that change the very fabric of the MCU as we know it. Tom Holland is the best he has ever been, not just in his own solo movies, but out of all the MCU movies he's been in, this is the best he has ever been. They finally got me invested in him story-wise because I've always liked Tom Holland. And as far as the casting and his performance, I thought he was well casted. He was very likable in the role. But as far as story, finally getting me invested in his overall arc, this film finally did that for me. And I don't know if enough time has passed with this movie to really get into other returning characters, but I'll just say this. Other certain returns in the movie were certainly very rewarding, and it didn't feel just like fan service for the sake of it. It actually added to the overall narrative, and I loved it. It was kind of like the best of both worlds. You get to see certain people again to kind of, fill your nostalgia, but at the same time, it also actually adds to the story, and it was great. Not much else I can say without actually going into spoilers, but No Way Home, probably the best MCU thing I have seen since Avengers Endgame. Not better, but definitely the best I have seen since those. It was the first Marvel movie, or at least the first Marvel outing in general, that gave me those feelings of like the good old days of the MCU. It left me excited. I felt goosebumps and friggin' chills and all that. It was, so glad I didn't just wait for Disney Plus. It was one of the best theater experiences I've had in a while. So Spider-Man No Way Home, number 5. All right. Jason Lee in the house. What's up, man? Jack
What's up,
Slaw.
Jason Lee?
How's it going? And now, I don't know how controversial this pick will be, but number 4, Zack Snyder's Justice League. The long-awaited sequel to BVS that we had to wait 5 years to get because there's certain wasn't spat in the face of his vision and was a disgusting 2-hour-long piece of shit that I wish never existed. But I digress. But yeah, in all seriousness, so glad we finally got this version because fuck that version. Like, am I right, guys? Yeah.
I didn't hate the other version.
But overall, like, aside from the fact that he finally got his vision out there, aside from being a great version of this movie, I just want to talk about it as its own movie, like as a movie, because it's a great movie, not just a great version, like a great original version, what it was supposed to be. It's just a great movie in general. The emotional weight actually sticks, unlike in the other version. You actually understand the villain's motivations, unlike in the original version. And it's actually serious, and the tone is actually consistent, unlike the other version. And all the actors and their versions of these characters that have been introduced up to this point are all at the best they have ever been in these movies. Even Henry Cavill, for the short screen time that he got, I thought was the best he's ever been out of his 3 outings as Superman. And Cyborg, man, fucking redemption. Because again, that other version.
You don't mind to say something a little bit. I'll say this about the Snyder Cut. At least they developed Cyborg in a flat character, where they did not do in Josh Whedon's version of the movie. I kind of like that. But what's in the movie?
Yeah,
it depends. And although Superman was good in that one too, so I would say that about the Snyder Cut.
Interesting. But yeah, overall, and I feel like, and I'm not saying this because, I ride Zack Snyder's dick or whatever. No, I'm saying this as a rational person that I feel like enough, at least for me, enough time has marinated with this movie, and rewatching it the few times that I have since its release, I am of the belief that with the character study, the emotional weight, the exhilarating action, the setup for sequels that we may or may not ever get, like we don't know. I mean, they're probably not gonna have, but I digress. I am of the belief that I at least think this is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. At least I think it's up there. Again, I thought the emotional weight, the spectacle, and the character moments really stuck the landing in this. It helped to really legitimize a lot of the stuff that Snyder had been setting up for his little universe, his vision. Because in this, with Man of Steel and BVS, you're kind of like, all right, this is interesting, but what are you building towards? With this film, it's like, whether you like it or hate it, it'll leave you thinking, it's like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. And it's like, it'll leave you wanting to see his sequels. And I'll say this, because I am always going to be pro #restore the Snyderverse, but I'm realistic. It's probably very likely that the sequels may not happen. So I'll just say this, is that we should just count our blessings and be thankful that we got this version. Whether you liked it or you hate it, it happened. He was finally able to get his vision out there. And yeah. But again, I am personally pro #restore the Snyderverse, but I still think realistically. With all that said, that is number 4. Number 3, the most emotional theater experience I've had all year. Number 3 is Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I heard it was good.
It was very good. It makes that god-awful remake seem like a distant memory. The lengths gone to here to honor Harold Ramis's memory, not just with the actor, but even how they respect his character. And even the stories that they're setting up with the new characters, it was very sweet and heartwarming. I ate it all up, because I'll say this, I'm not like a Ghostbusters fanboy. Like I'm not like to that levels. I'm not to those levels with Ghostbusters as a franchise, but I like this. But I like Ghostbusters. It's definitely a franchise where I get the appeal. I'm just not particularly like a fanboy, you know. But this movie probably changed my mindset on that, because holy shit. Paul Rudd was a nice comedic little addition. All the moments of nostalgia that especially like the hardcore fans will be able to pick out and point out, they really hit hard. Yeah, sorry, Kavari. Shit. But overall, what I found odd about this is that whereas No Way Home was getting praised for particularly for its moments of fan service, this movie the critics actually criticized for the fan service, and I just found that odd because it's like either you criticize fan service and think it's bad, or you don't. It's like stay in one lane, pick one or the other. Because if not for my number one pick, this would probably be the best fan service I've seen all year. When the OGs show up at the very end. Hey, Flat Top, did you miss us? Dude, my theater was going fucking nuts. But yeah, it's a very sweet, heartfelt, emotional picture that really does right by the fans and the storyline and Harold Ramis. Rest in peace. So I absolutely loved this movie, like particularly loved it, and I cannot wait for the Blu-ray release. This next one, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the only one out of all of us who knew of its existence, but that is why I am trying to push this movie hard because I thought it was a very underrated picture. My number 2, which for a long time, and I mean long friggin' time, was my number 1. My number 2 is Night of the Living Dead Rebirth, an independently done remake of the classic horror movie directed by Roger Connors, who I think will end up being an up and rising star. What I loved about this movie is that, I'll just get this out of the way real quick, plain and simply, the best I have seen this story retold since the 1990 remake, the one with Tony Todd. It was directed by makeup effects legend Tom Savini. This is the best version of the story retold I have seen since that remake. For what's admittedly maybe as low budget of an outing as the original, the picture quality, the overall look, the zombie effects, the gore, for a smaller, independently made picture, top-notch stuff. It arguably scared me more than maybe the remake did. I'll say this, the 1990 remake still has the scariest display of like the undead and zombies that I've ever seen in anything like movies or TV. But this may give it a run for its money. I absolutely loved this version of Night of the Living Dead, and I like to think that George A. Romero would be very proud of what Roger Connors and his crew have done here, where he's still alive. So, Roger Connors, if you're watching, again, bravo, man. Excellent work with this movie. So that is my number 2. Now, you have to get your mics up for this because I really want to get a conversation going for this. By process of elimination, y'all probably know what's left. I've been hyping it all year. I have not admittedly shut my mouth about it, and you haven't seen it on the list yet. So, what could it possibly be? Yeah,
Eternals.
No. I know, right? Like it was just like the worst of the year was a friggin' lie. Like it's actually my favorite Marvel movie, but it's here. It's by process of elimination. Y'all probably know what's left. I haven't talked about it yet. But yep, coming in first place by a landslide, Halloween Kills. Now, you're all saying, you're all probably saying, well, of course, you have not been able to shut your mouth about it all year. Now, Now, I want something made perfectly clear, actually. That'll probably shock you guys. This was not my number one originally. For quite a while, like I said, my number one of the year was Night of the Living Dead Rebirth. But, because here's the thing. With Halloween Kills, I thought it was a very compelling movie. It explored the themes of mob mentality, as well as exploring the 2018 film's themes of trauma and failure and grief. So all that, and the fact that at least I feel this was another great Halloween sequel that did right by the characters, the lore, and the story. So for all that, it put this movie on this list already. It was actually number 4 on my list initially. But what bumped it to number 1, like I just said, because of the fact that it talks about these themes with like trauma and failure and grief, certain things about my past have come to light recently. And after a couple times rewatching Halloween Kills, and again, seeing what it has to say about trauma and failure, I have grown to become more emotionally connected to this new trilogy of movies. Because again, things about my past that have come to light have allowed me to really resonate with said themes that these movies talk about. And it put me through quite a few emotional points these last couple of weeks. And so even as predictable as it is that it's my number 1, because I have not shut up about it all year, do know that it being number 1 isn't bias. And that this is, yeah. But overall, that's all I can really say. And the ending leaves me very invested for where they're going to go when Halloween ends. Like, I am really hoping that they are going to finally stick the landing with this trilogy and actually give this series an ending that is worthy of the Halloween brand. And as mentioned before about the fan service, by the way, this movie has what is still the best scene of fan service I have seen all year.
Hey, Michael. It's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Even Ghostbusters Afterlife couldn't top that awesomeness. But overall, like I said, great sequel that, as I've mentioned before, the fact that I already felt it was a great sequel that did right by the characters and the story and so on. But to now have these themes that I could resonate with personally, that's just a little something extra. And it made both this and the 2018 film just much more meaningful of films for me to go back to and watch. So I absolutely loved Halloween Kills, and it absolutely ranks among the best of the series to me. Top 3 is what I'll say. But that is my best and worst releases of 2021. Thoughts?
Very good list.
Yeah. My apologies if I went on too long with a couple others. With a couple of these. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying that was a good list, Zach. Both of them.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Alrighty. Like I said, let's start off with your worst of the year, so then you can then reward yourself with what you actually liked this year.
All right, so I actually did these in the sections here, and they're not in order. So I'm going to start off with the first section, things I will never see. Number 1, The Matrix Resurrections. I didn't care for it when I heard it was coming out, and I didn't see it, so I will never see it ever. Number 2, Space Jam: A New Legacy. I don't like LeBron James, and plus Space Jam doesn't really need a sequel, so that's a reason. Number 3, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Enough said. Number 4, Tom and Jerry. Again, what else do I have to say? I didn't really care for it when it was coming out. Didn't see it. Number 5, F9. Because I can't see John Cena. You know, it's ridiculous. They can stop casting him and shit. Now here's my worst. Now here's the worst category. Number 1, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat disrespected me as a Mortal Kombat fan. I have played a ton of those games, and I love the lore, but they fucked it up with this one. They can fuck off with that. Number 2, Loki. Loki is just a massive disappointment. It was crap. I didn't like it. It was trash. Damn. Number 3, Army of the Dead. It was horrible. The fact that there was fucking lobster trucks and there was some stupid ass, zombie babies and fucking, it was really bad, really weird, and it was fucking too long. And the fact that the entire thing started because of a fucking newlyweds trying to fuck in a car, that was what fucking tipped me off that this movie was gonna piss me off. Number 4, Eternals. What is there left to say? The editing sucked. The characters are boring. I don't even know their names. I mean, it was an okay action, but who cares? Number 5, the Injustice animated movie. Again, love the Injustice comic books, love the games, but the fucking movie, they fucked it up. And then lastly, the CW shows besides 2 of them. The Supergirl finale sucked. Season 7 of The Flash sucked. Legends sucked. Everything sucked. Because that shit pissed me off. Now, moving into my mediocre list. Army of Thieves. Not bad. It's just a pretty generic movie, heist film because it's just heist stuff. Number 2, all the MCU shows. In whole honesty, they're all mediocre. They're probably going to tie it in at some point, but honestly, they're just so painfully average, I just don't really care. Number 3, Black Widow. It's fine. It doesn't really... Taskmaster kind of pissed me off. It's overall, it's all right. Number 4, Bad Batch. Enough said. Number 5, The Suicide Squad. Too much comedy. I'm not a huge fan of Suicide Squad, but overall, it's all right. Number 6, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. If you saw the first Venom and you see this film, you're not gonna be disappointed. Honestly, Carnage was at least a better villain. But overall, it's all right. And now in my good category, number 1, Shang-Chi. It's pretty good. Not the best thing I've seen all year, but pretty good. Then 2, Halloween Kills. It's pretty good. I saw it at theater, so you know what? It's all pretty good. And before I get into my best list, shout out to Ninjoy243 up there. Ninjoy, go up and take a bow.
Oh, yay.
Because he made 2 really great fan cuts of the fucking Force Awakens. The Last Jedi is going to make another one of Into the Darkness. And then he made a Dawn of Justice cut. He's going to make Riverdale cuts. Oh my God, it's going to be so fucking insane. Holy shit. Oh my God. So, that's just an honorable mention. All right, best of list. Number 1, Superman and Lois. Dude, that show fucking rules. Best Superman thing to come out since forever. Number 2, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Really good. Number 3, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Great game, great remaster, great trilogy. Number 4, Tomorrow War, underrated. It actually was not a complicated film. It's pretty good. Number 5, Mortal Kombat Legends, The Battle of the Realms. That was pretty cool, better than the live action film. Shao Kahn was in it. There's some great fight scenes. Number 6, Batman: The Long Halloween. That was pretty fire too. Because it's Batman. I love Batman, and Long Halloween's one of the best storylines. And the animated stuff did a great job. Number 7, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I saw this in theater. Really fucking awesome. Love the characters, and the ending was fucking sad as shit. Number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy game. Square Enix did the Avengers game. That was trash. They came back and made a Guardians of the Galaxy game that was actually pretty good. So you know what? I give you points. Number 9, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Made by Insomniac Games. I like the other Ratchet and Clank games, and also they made the Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and they're gonna make Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. So you know what? Insomniac gets my money every day. Number 10, Spider-Man No Way Home. Great film, great fan service. A lot. Tom Holland. He's on his way to being one of the best Spider-Men. All he's got to do is he's got to walk the walk. All the villains were cool, and the special appearances were awesome. Everything was awesome. And number 11 is Invincible. Invincible is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. I can't wait for season 2 to come out because Invincible fucking rules. I can't wait. It's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to rock.
Preach.
Nice.
And that's my list.
Very good. All right. What did we think of Shang-Chi? As for me, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Same.
My only real, because I liked the visuals, the martial arts style action, like the real emphasis they put on that. My only real negative or issue with the film was that they killed Mandarin, because I feel like that's someone that could have went long term or at least a couple more movies. So I was just very frustrated that it fell into the whole kill the villain after just one movie trope that Marvel does a lot. Because I was really invested in Mandarin, so that took me off. But sorry, Ninja, what were you saying? Yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. It's definitely one of the top 3 of the Marvel releases of the year for me. All right, Deshaun, worst of the year.
Okay. Whoever thought? Guess I thought with my worst on this. Let's see. The worst movie I ever seen this year. It's between a tie. It's between Army of the Dead or the Kobe Walk, whatever that movie called, started with Tom Hardy and Deadly Roddy. Let's talk about Army of the Dead in a minute. Army of the Dead directed by Zack Snyder. Am I surprised this movie is trash? Not at all. I'm not surprised. Because most of Zack Snyder movie are trash. And, trash. Cold Walker. When I heard about this movie, I thought, I thought this gonna be a good Tom Hardy movie. But the first time I watched it, I thought wow, what did I just watch? This movie is garbage, trash. Yeah, that is one of my 2 worst movies. Worst shows? Well, this is easy. The worst show I ever seen this year, Bad Batch. Each episode of Bad Batch was trash, garbage, maybe the worst show I ever seen in my life. And I will say this, Batwoman is better than Bad Batch. Fight me.
Shit. Yeah, I'm not a Batwoman fan either. I never even put a second into that.
Yeah, even Batwoman tried, but it's better than this garbage. Let's see. Overrated movie. I'll put overrated. I would say the Snyder Cut. I feel like Snyder Cut was good. It was a good movie. But do I consider the movie the greatest comic book movie? No. Because the movie got a lot of problems. And I like Cyborg and the Flash in it. They the only character got development in it. But besides that, Batman was trash in that one. Wonder Woman was trash. Aquaman was trash. The soundtrack, the score of the movie was trash. CGI was trash. The movie was not the best, but you know what? Snyder Cut fan, you fan of Snyder Cut? Snyder, you got your movie. Now, the best movie. Okay, here we go. The Tom and Jerry movie. Now, now I will say this. Do the movie got problem? Yes, it do. But I feel like I actually enjoy the movie, and not the best movie I seen, and not the worst movie I seen. Space Jam 2. I think it better than the first one because I am a big LeBron James fan. LeBron James one of my favorite basketball players all the time. So of course I'm gonna be another bias of Space Jam 2. So Space Jam 2. Let's see. The Invincible. Invincible was good. Well, very, very good show. So proud about how good the show was. Let's see. All the MCU shows were good, in my opinion. Even though I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is the best one, but Hawkeye, WandaVision, even Loki were good, in my opinion. Fast 9. I ain't gonna lie. This, if it wasn't the Action Secret, it would be one of my worst movies. But without the Action Secret and stuff like that, I feel like the movie was good. It was saved by the Action Secret. Even though I bet the movie will be crazy and dumb, I kind of like that. I like dumb and fun movie. Not fast. Venom 2, this is easy. Venom 2 is a pretty dumb movie. But the problem is that it's a very fun movie. You could enjoy the movie, in my opinion. So Venom 2 than this. And let's see what else I have saw. King Richard. King Richard also was a good movie. Maybe go win an Oscar. In my opinion, should win an Oscar, but King Richard was a good movie. If you have not seen it, it's on HBO Max. I hope they did not tuck it down, but I think it's still on HBO Max. I don't really know. Let's see. The best movie. If you have not watched my channel, you will be surprised. But you did, you ain't surprised. No Way Home. No Way Home is my favorite MCU movie. Is my favorite comic book movie. And all the people say, what about 1184? 1184. 1184 is my second favorite. Thank be calm, No Way Home top that. To see Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, Sandman, and Liz back. And I'm not trying to spoil the movie if you have not seen it. All characters that return, start with T and A. Best Spider-Man movie I have ever seen. I think it's better than Spider-Man 2. And that's in my list. And in the movie that I wouldn't. Oh yeah, I forgot. Matrix Revolution. Matrix Revolution might be one of the most confusing movie I had ever seen in my life. But
you were a fan of Matrix, huh?
Only in the first two movie. Only in the first two. I thought the third one was okay, and the fourth one, good God Almighty, confusing.
Didn't see that one.
Matrix Revolution was a very confusing movie. I will agree, but I thought the character, the action was very good in the movie. That I feel like that saved the movie. So yeah, that my list.
Very good, very good. So that is our pick for the best and worst releases of 2021.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Shang-Chi Eternals. Shang-Chi was a very good Marvel movie. The same thing with Eternal. I think Eternal was underrated in my opinion, but I don't think it was that bad what people say.
Very good, very good. So that is going to, I guess that's going to wrap it up for us here, unless there's anything y'all want to bring up again real quick.
No, not really.
Austin?
What?
Anything else you want to bring up before we wrap it up?
Oh,
No, I think it's good.
I forgot about the two Ninja cut. Force Awakens and Jedi. Ninja, you did a very good job with D cut. Maybe the best Star Wars movie. Well, fan made Star Wars movie. But thank the Ninja, Force Awakens, the Ninja cut was very good. That's all I gotta say.
Alrighty, very good. So that is going to do it for us here then on this live stream. Before we wrap it up, I am going to link Nindroid, Austin, and Deshaun's channels in the description, because if you haven't yet, go and like and subscribe. They are great content creators, and they deserve all that they get. So, all right. So with that being said, promotion time. Deshaun, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Deshaun Wiggin. I talk about comic book movies, and yeah, they're mostly hit. On Friday, I will be doing a watch party. I will be doing the Amazing Spider-Man 2 watch party on Friday night. So make sure y'all check that out. So, yep. Also, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. They finally unblocked me on Instagram, and and TikTok. Yes, I said TikTok. So yeah.
Very good. Austin?
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm the Austinator. You can find me on my channel. I'm just a couple subs away from 200. I do a bunch of stuff over there, game streams. Everything will be coming back in January. So go check me out there. I might do a stream tomorrow, ranking all the Marvel stuff that came out this year. And you can find me on Twitter at the Austinator17. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet, sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Go check me out. Zach, thanks for having me on.
Anytime, man. And you can find Nindroid here on his channel. I have linked it here in the chat. So I want to thank you all very much for helping us all power through this utterly chaotic year. Let's hope that 2022 is better.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all can obviously find me here on my channel. Next thing coming up here after this stream, on the 2nd of January, I believe I have it dated, I will be hopefully having y'all on for our discussion for our most anticipated releases of 2022.
Ooh.
It'll be very fun to discuss. So, with that being said, I hope y'all have a safe, happy New Year's Eve. Don't drink too much alcoholic cider. Just be like me. Just get the regular sparkling cider. And, yep, that is it. We will see y'all next time. Take care, everybody.
Deuces.
Later.
Yep. Oh, by the way, I'm a brony now.